First of all, I too have heard of young people who say they're weary of this world and why not have a war? I mean, what's the difference if we go to war or not? But he feels that this is an incredible mistake, that is absolutely mistaken. If we were to have a war, there would be so much greater suffering than anything we have known to date. Secondly, about Asia, Japan and Asia. Japan has invaded the mainland and various countries in Asia numerous times. For example, 1,000 years ago, Japan invaded Korea. During the time of Toyotomi Hideyoshi, there were attempts to invade China. During the Meiji period, during the Showa period, Manchuria and so on, the list is endless. And each time Japan was the invader. Japan has never been attacked, has never had to protect itself, but Japan itself was the invader and has never apologized. This last war has left enormous wounds. And what needs to be done now is a real apology. There may be a hint of it from time to time. Somebody may try to say their story, but before long, another politician will rise up who denies it. Japan can never be on good terms with Asia unless they recognize and apologize their acts of the last war. Germany did it. Prime Minister Brandt, went to Poland, fell on his knees. It may not have been perfect, but it was clearly an apology that all understood as sincere. There was not one real statement from a Japanese politician to that effect about the last war. Japan has to have the courage to face the facts and apologize. This comes before all else. For example, the comfort women. There are politicians who are still trying to say that, well, really, maybe it didn't happen. Some think that their economic power, Japan's economic power, will allow them to get on to good terms with other countries in Asia. But this will never happen. The thing that has to happen is first to understand, to recognize what happened, and then to clearly apologize. There is no other way.
ちょっと一個よくわかんないところがあったんですけど、その学生の中でなんかその軍国主義にちょっと反対してるみたいな人いるって言ってるじゃないですか。でもその反対するそういう意見っていうのは話せないわけじゃないですか。でそれどうして分かったんですか、そういう反対する人がいるって。
それね、それについてね、これからお話しするところだったんですよ。これからお話をするところだったんですけどね、あったんですよ、やっぱり。でね、それはね、この本にはその書いてあります。詳しく書いてありますのでね、私の弟とね、話し合ってみたら、弟もやっぱりそうだった。それともう一つ、二つ目はね、これは私がある雑誌で読んだんですけどもね、やはり私たちと同じ時期に海軍に入ったやっぱり特攻隊の中での話なんです。で、私たちと同じ学生出身の将校がですね、ある時、なんか夕食を喋ってたんですよね。くつろいでた。その時に一人がね、俺はね、天皇のためには死なないぞと言ったんです。そしたらね、もう一人の俺がね、当たり前だバカと言ってそれを止めたんです。それはね、どういう意味だ。それは当たり前だって言ってるでしょ。ね、天皇のためには死なないってのはこれ当たり前だって言ってるんですよ。ね、僕以外にいるわけですね、これ。ね、でね、バカっていうのは一体どういう意味かっていうとね、お前はバカだっていうそういう意味じゃないですよ。 ね、そういうバカなことを今ここで言うなってことなの。こんなことをね、ここで言ったらひどい目に遭うぞと、こういう意味なんですよ。だからね、当たり前だバカ、そういうことなんですよ。当たり前だって言ってるんですよ、そんなの、ね。それともう一つはですね、私のね戦友和田稔という、回転の時代の戦友なんですけれども、これがね、私がね、これもまた夕食をね、極めてね、反体制的なことをね口走ったんです。つい私は本当は言いたくてしょうがないんだけども抑えてたんですよね。それを戦友だからね、ついちょっと口に出したんです。それともこれ書いてありますからね。そしたらね、その和田っていうあれがね、私にじゃなくてね、その聞いてる人にね、訴えて、お前そんなこと喋れない、こういうんですよ。全然喋ってないのに、この人は。で僕はムカッとしたんだけどもね、だけどもそこでちょっとね喧嘩になったりなんかすると、ね、一体なぜそんなことを喧嘩になったかっていう、そうすると私困りますわね、ですからね、私黙ったんですよ。ところがね、その和田っていう男が、私と2人だけになった時にね、実は俺もそう思ってるんで、こういうわけなんですよ。ね、思ってるだけども口に出さない、そういう人間がたくさんいたんです。それぞれ一人一人がね俺一人でね反対しちゃってでしょうがないじゃないかと思っている人が何人もいたんです。一人じゃないんです。一人じゃなかったんです本当は。それはね、今考えてみるとそうなんです。その時はね、なかなかそこまでは考えつかないんですよね。そういう時代だったんです。そのことをね、これからお話ししようと思ってたところだったんです。
There was one thing that I didn't understand from your talk, and that is that you said that many people felt this way, yet none of them could talk about it. If that was the case, how did you ever find out that there were so many people, or so many young soldiers, that felt that were opposed to the war? He said, well, that's exactly what I was going to talk about from now. But let me say a few words about it, and you can read about it in this book, all about it in this book, but I'll say a few words now. First of all, there was my younger brother. I was talking to him at one time when we had both been drafted, and I confided in him, and he agreed that really there was that he didn't believe in dying for the emperor. Another case is a magazine article that I wrote, in which there was a group of young soldiers, one of whom let slip that, or said rather clearly that, well, I'm not going to die for the emperor. And he was quickly cut off by another who said, you fool, who would? Meaning, don't say, in fact, when he said baka, or fool, what did that mean? It meant that, don't say that here, now, or there'll be consequences. In other words, he was trying to keep him quiet so that there wouldn't be trouble. A third example is a friend or a superior of his by the name of Wada Minoru. This was also a conversation that took place after dinner. Both of these were at a time when people were feeling relaxed after dinner. And Mr. Iwai had let slip some anti-war type remarks, whereupon his superior immediately told him to shut up. He kind of felt unhappy about being told so brusquely, but he kept quiet. And later when they were alone, Mr. Wada said to him, actually, I agree with you, I feel the same way. So one by one, they felt isolated. They didn't really want to say, or they felt they couldn't say it. But really, there were enough slips of the tongue, and there were enough indications to show that there were many who felt this way.